There's pressure, and then there's April basketball pressure. Tonight, Knicks and Pistons, both walking that narrow line between control and collapse. New York walks in banged up and bleeding. No Anunoby, no Josh Hart, no Hook Porti, no Mitchell Robinson. And for a team that thrives on toughness, that's like leaving your shield at home. But what they do have is Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns doing just enough to keep the walls from closing in. Against Boston, lost 119-117. Brunson dropped 27 points, 10 assists. Towns added 34 and 14 boards. The Knicks shot 48%, but just 29% from deep. And Detroit? They're dangerous. Cade Cunningham out here dropping 35 like it's casual. But they fell to Sacramento 127-117. Letting the Kings shoot 52% from the field and 41% from three. And that, my friends, is where the cracks start to show. The Knicks, in their last 3 road games, are averaging 118.8 points per 100 possessions with a plus 2.9 net rating. Detroit, last 5 home games, scoring at will with 124.4 points per 100 possessions, holding a plus 5.5 net rating. Sounds good on paper, until you look deeper. Since clinching a playoff spot, Detroit's lost 2 straight, a little comfortable, a little slow, and the Bucks would have to slip for the Pistons to move up. Motivation, maybe. Desperation, not quite. Meanwhile, the Knicks, beat up, short-handed, and dangerous because of it, are still chasing seeding security. And today's AI pick is New York Knicks plus 5.5. They don't have all their weapons tonight, but sometimes the sharpest blade is the one that's already been in the fire.
Elvis, you ever see a man walk into a fight with both hands tied behind his back? And still think he's got a chance? Yeah. That's Cleveland tonight. Cavs versus Pacers. Let's talk Cleveland first. Garland, out. Mitchell, out. Mobley, out. Struss, out. That's not a lineup. That's a charity roster. Only thing missing is a bake sale in the lobby. Sure. They just smashed Chicago 135-113, shot 51%, dropped 50% from 3. But that was with the Cavalry. Tonight? They left the Cavalry at home in bubble wrap. Meanwhile, Indiana's over here like that one dude still doing push-ups in the parking lot. Hungry, desperate, waiting for somebody to slip. The Pacers just beat Washington 104-98, shooting a truly disgusting 38% from the field, and an even uglier 26% from deep. And they still won. But see? That's what makes them dangerous tonight. Past 7 games, Indiana is averaging 118.2 points per 100 possessions, with a pleasant 10.6 net rating. Cleveland on the road in their past 5, 118.7 points per 100, but only a pudgy 3.6 net rating. Difference is, Indiana's got something to play for. Cavs? They're locked in. Number 1 seed in the East. Vacation hats packed. Pacers? They're fighting to lock in the 4 seed. Fighting like guys who know the bus leaves tomorrow whether they're on it or not. And today's AI pick is Indiana Pacers, 8.5. Because tonight, it ain't about who's good. It's about who's left standing.
Oh, we're doing this game? Perfect. Because nothing says Atlanta Hawks basketball like chaos, blown leads, and a man too stubborn to admit when he kicked a drink off the end table. Yes, Clyde, I'm still talking about that. Tell me again how I moved a pillow, and that pillow launched a glass of soda into orbit. Honestly, what is this? NBA Street meets Mythbusters? You kicked it. You know you kicked it. Just like Atlanta kicked away their season losing 6 of their last 8. Now they're crawling into Brooklyn, holding on to the 8 seed like it's a loose tooth. Capella's out, LNJ's out. They just lost to Orlando, letting them shoot 50% from the field and 41% from deep. Meanwhile the Nets, scrappy. Covered 3 of their last 5. Just beat New Orleans shooting 49% from the field and a dangerous 42% from 3. They might be bad, but tonight they're bad with nothing to lose.
Are we done with the dramatics? If I wanted to knock your drink over, Bonnie, I wouldn't use a pillow like a medieval catapult. I'd kick it over directly. Like a man. Atlanta's averaging 119.5 points per 100 possessions in their past 5 road games. Solid offense, but defensively, negative net rating. That's how games slip away. Brooklyn's averaging 100.5 points per 100 over their last 6. That's not scoring, that's survival. But the Nets at home? Fighting, covering spreads, playing with grit that Atlanta hasn't shown in weeks. And let's not act like the Hawks aren't on edge. Lose here and they could fall into the 9/10 play-in game nightmare.
Edge? Clyde, please. Atlanta's living on the edge like it's an Airbnb rental. The Nets may be a mess, but they're scrapping like a team that knows exactly what role they're playing. Spoiler. Atlanta. Oh, they'll score. But they'll give up buckets just as easy, like when you gave up on cleaning the couch and just flipped the cushion over. Real hero behavior there. Brooklyn's covered in 3 of 5 and with plus 113.5 tonight? That's not a spread, that's a billboard saying, come get this cover.
And today's AI pick is Brooklyn plus 13.5. Unlike your soda, this pick isn't going anywhere. On to Game 4.
Milwaukee's walking into this one with a name that carries weight, but a defense that's carrying holes. Pelicans versus Bucks. Let's start with New Orleans. Yeah, they just lost to Brooklyn 119-114. They shot 48% from the field, 36% from 3, and still walked out empty-handed. But that's surface level. In their past 5 games, the Pelicans are shooting 4 to 7%, covering 5 of their last 7, and playing like a team nobody wants to deal with this late in the season. Milwaukee's numbers. Their slick at first glance beat Minnesota 110-103, shooting 48%. Giannis put up 23 points with a triple-double. But behind the curtain, in their last 4 home games, the Bucks are allowing 124.9 points per 100 possessions with a 3.6 net rating. Translation: the defense is leaking like bad plumbing. New Orleans might be outgunned on paper, but in reality, they're catching a Milwaukee team sitting comfortably in the 5th seed. Not much to gain, not much to lose. Meanwhile, the Pelicans show up like street fighters. Nothing fancy. Nothing soft. And tonight, they're walking in with 15.5 points on their side. And today's AI pick is New Orleans 15.5. Sometimes the smartest bet isn't who's better. It's who's still swinging.
There is nothing new under the sun. Only men repeating the same mistakes and wondering why they bleed. Tonight, Timberwolves versus Grizzlies. 2 teams clawing for position. 2 tribes on the edge of war. Minnesota steps in off a loss to Milwaukee 110-103, shot 46%. Anthony Edwards poured in 25 points. But lately, they've settled into a rhythm, scoring and allowing 113 points per 100 possessions over their last 5. Memphis. Fresh from destroying Charlotte 124-100, Ja Morant dropped 28 like it was his birthright. But the cracks are there. At home in their last 3, the Grizzlies have allowed 123 points per 100 possessions with a 9.2 net rating, and lost all 3. Both teams fighting to stay out of the play-in, both throwing punches in the dark. But look closer. Defense has returned to this place. Memphis is 4-1 to the under in their last 5 games. Since the coaching change, slower pace, sharper edge. And today's AI pick is Minnesota and Memphis under 234. Not every battle ends in blood. Some end in silence. Final recap: the 5 that were written: Game 1 Knicks 5.5, Game 2 Pacers 8.5, Game 3 Nets 13.5, Game 4 Pelicans 15.5, Game 5 Timberwolves and Grizzlies under 200. And 34 5 picks. 5 judgments. The books will call them numbers. We call them prophecy. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, or wander blind into tomorrow. Either way, we'll still be here, waiting.